Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano and welcome to Harping on Rugby. Joining me today to preview Leinster's first match of the new URC campaign is someone earning their 12th cap on the pod. He's the owner of the great Twitter account at Rugby Keno. A warm welcome to Mr. Keenan Wilhar. How are you doing, sir?
Not bad at all, Jeff. Thanks for having us back. It's
No problem.
nice to get a break from all the college work to just
That's
talk
it.
a little bit of rugby.
And
And
you're all set for the new season, yeah?
looking forward to it so much. You've no idea.
Brilliant. Well, listen, right, I told Cian before we started that we needed to move quickly through this preview because otherwise Matthew Raynaud is going to give another free kick to the All Blacks. So let's crack on, shall we? This week's feature Harping match is Zebra Parma v Leinster. It's in round one of the 2022-23 BXT United Rugby Championship, and it's taking place at the Stadio Sergio Lanfranchi on Saturday, September 17th, kicking off at 1 p.m. Irish time, being shown on RTE2, Premier Sports, and of course, URC TV. Leinster named their matchday squad at lunchtime on Friday, so why don't we crack on by harping on it, starting with the back line. So in the backs for Leinster, we've got Max O'Reilly at fullback, 15. The wings on the left, Dave Carney, and then Rob Russell. And the centres got Charlie Natai on the inside, Jamie Osborne outside, and the halfbacks are Luke McGrath and Ross Byrne. What do you make of that, Keno?
Yeah, it's a pretty decent back selection. They're going to be there for the full 80 by the looks of things, pretty much, other than the halfbacks. I'd say the most notable thing to look at here is the pairing of Osborne and Natai. It's Natai's first cap for Leinster. There were a few disconnects between him and Osborne in the pre-season friendly against Quins. Might have been pushing a little bit too hard, looking for that showreel moment, a bit of razzle-dazzle. I expect good things from them. It'll probably take them a while to gel. Don't know if it'll happen this game, but it'll come right. Dave Carney, great to see him back from injury as well. He is still hanging around fifth on the Leinster all-time try-scoring chart, so I think he's going to see. He only needs four to equal Dennis Hickey is in number 3, so he's probably going to push for that this season. Let's see what he can do in this game to get there.
Definitely. It's looking good. That center pairing is definitely interesting. I was on the Master of None podcast during the weekend. I felt a bit bad after I said from the Harlequins game, but it almost looked like Jamie Osborne was showing Natai the ropes. Because that sounded bad on Natai, but it was more like he's getting to know the Leinster way of things, and Jamie was showing him the way we do it, and he'll get there eventually.
Oh, this is it. I mean, he's a superbly experienced centre. He certainly doesn't need anyone to show him how to play the game. But as you say, bedding in, everyone needs someone to maybe give them a hand with the getting used to the style of the team.
Absolutely. And we had a comment on the Facebook page when the team was announced. It was Chris McDonough, and he said, playing Ross Byrne ahead of Sexton cost us the league last season. Playing Ross Byrne ahead of Frawley will cost us big time in all sort of ways. Well, I mean, I think that is true about the final or the semi-final last season, but we'll see what happens. Ross Byrne's always dependable, and Frawley's going on that tour in a couple of weeks, so it's probably better if maybe Ross Byrne gets the hang of it, but sure, we'll see what happens there. Okay, well, that's the backs. So let's move on to the pack now. And in the forwards, we have Ed Byrne, Ronan Kelleher, and Michael Alatoa in the front row. The locks are Ross Maloney and Jason Jenkins. And the back row is Rhys Ruddock, who's the captain, Scott Penny, and Max Deegan. What do you make of that?
Yeah, again, notable for a pairing. It's the first cap for Jenkins, and we're looking to see... we're looking at that partnership with him and Maloney, which was showing a bit of promise in that preseason game with Quins. I expect them to be able to apply a fair bit of pressure to the set piece against what's a relatively callow Zebra side, and put in some big hits in defence as well. Anything other than that, maybe a bit of a line break or an offload here or there would be a bonus. But yeah, I really want to see them bed down the essentials.
Absolutely. And of course, in the back row there, we always say it on the pod, you never want to guarantee a try for anyone, but if you're going to do it, it's when Scott Penny and Max Deegan, I think, is in that category as well. They both know how to find the try line in this league. So if you're going to bet on, I mean, they're both involved in tries against Harlequins. Penny got one, and Deegan was a big player in another one. So, if you're going to put a bet on something, that's one of your better ones. We had a comment on the Facebook page from Andrew Potts. He said, overall, it's a good Leinster side, and it'll be interesting to see the scrummaging powerhouse Munster reluctantly let go. If the rehab staff at Leinster do their usual magic, it might be his best chance to see some great rugby days. I don't know exactly what he meant by that, but I'm sure he knew what he meant. But
I was going to say, if you're going to put money on anyone to score a try on Saturday, yeah, there's Scott Penny, yeah, there's Max Deegan, but Ronan Kelleher is starting.
There is that. Yeah, it's great to see him back, and he'll definitely want to. He's kind of fallen behind in the Ireland thing as well, by no fault of his own, other than he got injured. But Dan Sheehan took the mantle, so he'll be looking for his place back. So yeah, that's another good bet there. So a lot of candidates there. Right, let's move on to the bench. And in the replacements, we have 16, John McKee, 17, Michael Milne, 18, Vak Abdeladze, then Brian Deeney, Alex Soroka, Nick McCarthy, Kieran Frawley, and 23, and Mr. Will Connors. 6-2 split. What do you make of that?
Yeah, lots to talk about here. I love a good 6-2 split, especially with the number of young forwards going to go on that South African tour. I think there's 3 starters on that side and 4 on the bench that are going to South Africa. It's good to see as well 2 academy players on the bench and 2 starting the back line. It's good business from a development point of view. On the bench, you've got a young type 5 who should see, I'd say, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how the scoreline goes. If we're running away with it, if we got the bonus point there before halftime, expect to get at least half an hour. I hope to see Frawley go in at 10. I hope we don't have to reshuffle the back line. I hope he doesn't have to replace an injury on the back line, and that if needs be that we reshuffle whoever's on there to get him game time at 10. And it's brilliant seeing Will Connors back, out there hunting ankles like a Victorian pornographer.
Now we're going to move on to the opposition, who is Zebra Parma, and I won't read out their full team, but it's their first team of the season. They've got some interesting names in there, coached by Fabio Rosselli. What did you make of their lineup?
Yeah, they had a rough ride last season. Only 1 win all season against Dragons. It's tough to see them turning around very quickly. They've had a huge clear out of players at the end of the season, 23 by my reckoning. So 22 players in, very young profile on the whole, most of them not older than 23 years old. Closest they got to headline signings were Richard Creel, Tiff Eden, who I think is starting at 10 tonight, MJ Pelser and Jacques de Toit. But even there's not really a huge amount to note. So I would expect, I'd expect them to be game, but probably a bit naive.
Yeah, because I mean, when Leinster matches, you kind of, like you say, we expect the word, but it has to be running away with it at some point. But then you remember the last time we went to play Zebra, and it was or away from home, and it was a 3-0 squeaker. So you don't want it to go that way, but you do have to talk about what Leinster standards need to aim for. So there's a lot of new names in that lineup, definitely. So it's a question of how they bet it in. So we'll see how they get on. That's the Zebra lineup, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, well, the next category we have is just the officials. I'm just going to read it out. It's Ben Blaine from Scotland's the ref. The assistant referees are Federico Barazzo and Dario Merli, and Andrew McMenery is the TMO. Right, so now it's that time of the preview where we put our heads on the block and give our predictions. But just before we do, just a word on our little prediction league we're running this season amongst our Harpin contributors on Super Brew. We did it last season. The one rule we had that while the league was winner, only won bragging rights, there was a forfeit for the guy finishing last. And since it was me, although to be clear, I still have my legal team checking everything was above board, I have to suffer the forfeit, which means I'm wearing a particular rugby jersey that I have on right now. Now, I know that might not mean much to those listening on the podcast, but if you want to see it, just check out our Harpin Rugby YouTube channel on Saturday morning. You'll see it there. The green screen meant I can't take it all off, but I'll just show what's on part of it, and I prove that I am actually wearing it. Hopefully I won't get a rash. And I also hopefully I won't be wearing it again come the end of this season, right? So anyway, on to our predictions. Keno, how do you see Zebra v Leinster panning out?
Zebra v Leinster, the bookies have Leinster as 30-point favourites on this one. But in the last 3 games away against Zebra, we won by 17 points, 3 points, and 16 points respectively. So even with the relatively strong team we're sending out there, I'm going to temper the bookies' expectations. I think we will win 43-17.
Okay. Yeah, that's close to mine. You say the bookies have it around 30ish. I mean, that should be a target for them to set out for. And like we say, the standards that Leinster have and the goals Leinster have, especially the way we've seen the URC looks like it's going to pan out. South African teams might take a while to get themselves together and get in gear, but when they do, they play really well. So if you're going to get points, you want to get them on the board this time of season. And this is a game where we just have to go for the full 5 points, and there's no two ways about it. So I'm going to go. My prediction is Zebra 15, Leinster 40. So it's round about the same thing. We're on the same mark, but they do have to be aiming to beat that point difference. So we're going to have a quick look at some of the other matches from round one of the URC. Just quick predictions. Cardiff v Munster.
Cardiff playing some decent rugby in the second half of last season, but I think Munster will pull out a win for the new coaching ticket on this. Munster by 7. Very
good. Yeah, I actually, just to be different, I went Cardiff by 5. I don't know why I did. Maybe I was a aversion to the jersey I'm wearing. I don't know what's going on, but some kind of reason there. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Cardiff not a happy hunting ground for Munster, so yeah. I can see it.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, and then Ulster v Connacht at Kingspan.
Ulster v Connacht. I think Ulster actually really have all the parts they need to kick on this season. And Connacht have the season lead in from hell, so I'm going to go Ulster 15.
Yeah, I had Ulster by 12 as well. I think they've kind of a lot of new players that a lot of them are going to do well there. We sent them a good load as well, but they'll take some betting in, and they'll be eager to get back to their home ground. So it could be a slow start for them. So yeah, Ulster by 12. And just one more game, Keno. I understand you've been really analyzing the data, crunching the numbers, and feeding into spreadsheets. You've come up with an oddly specific prediction for Benetton v Glasgow. What's that all about?
Yeah, the algorithm hasn't finished generating yet, but if I have a look at the readout here, it says that it reckons Padovani's going to score on 21, Lucchesi on 36, and Mendy on 43, but Ferguson's going to get back 1 on 60. So it takes time to get through the rest of this. So I'll have to get back to you on the final result.
Okay, very good. That's very. I mean, it's amazing the way the modern stats and numbers and algorithms work. It's like how they can be so pinpoint in accuracy. But listen, fair play to you, man.
Oh, the hardest part is getting the goat's blood into the USB port.
Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. I can imagine. Right, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks to Keno for joining me today. Be sure to enjoy the match wherever you are. And at the full-time whistle, why not head on to the Harpen Rugby Facebook page and leave your thoughts, where we'll share them on our wrap pod this Sunday evening. So thanks, Keno, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Not at all, Jeff.
And for now, we're going to leave you with a bit of commentary by the late, great Eddie Butler, taken from Wales v England in the 2015 Rugby World Cup. His passing has, of course, been devastating news for the entire rugby community. May he rest in peace.
Alan Wynne-Jones passes, Priestland, Bigger, Jamie Roberts. It's Lloyd Williams, the scrum half on the wing. Wales with a chance! One scrum half to another. Gareth Davis in hot pursuit